G'day there, Ray Corcoran here. In this week's video, I'm going to be going over how I save approximately 85% of my income. In this video, I'm going to be going over a few of the common areas. So, whether it's fitness, family stuff, friend stuff, housing, all those sorts of areas. And I'm just going to talk about some really simple things that I do to make sure that I don't have a blowout in terms of my cost base, which allows me to invest as much money as possible, basically. So for me personally, I have a personal goal to get to be worth several $1 million by the time that I'm 40. And we're mostly on track for that if I keep working like a dog. But basically one part of that obviously is not spending money. For me, honestly, it's not a massive focus. I try to not spend a lot, and then I put pretty much all my effort into making more money because that is limitless. Whereas cost cutting is something that is finite. But that said, I'm still gonna talk about it today in this video. And I'm just gonna go over area by area, some of the things that I do to make sure that basically I very rarely spend much money. And for me personally, I actually really enjoy not spending money. A lot of people find it like it's sacrifice and downgrading your lifestyle and all that sort of thing. But for me, I actually find that the less I spend, the easier it is for me to get to my goal. So I actually enjoy not spending in a weird way. So it's definitely something that you need to reframe your own relationship with money. And for me, I know that if I go and say I blow all my money and spend it on fancy restaurants and doing all this stuff, which I totally enjoy and I do from time to time, I know that if I do that all the time, I'm just pushing the goalposts further and further away, and I'm just never gonna get to my goal. So I actually have gotten to a point where I really don't enjoy spending the money because it's just stopping me from getting to my goal. But that's a whole other topic. But anyways, let's get into the tips. So the first area is gym and fitness. So a lot of people have a gym membership. For me, I did as well. But I found that I just ended up canceling my gym membership and just going to the local park. There's pull-up bars there. You can do a lot of body weight exercises, and I have dumbbells at home as well. And if you're someone that does extremely heavy weights, obviously, I'm not sure if you can tell, but I don't. If you do super heavy weights, then it might not be practical, but most people don't do really crazy heavy weights anyway. So for 90% of people, there's lots of parks locally in most areas that they have pull-up bars, and you can do, pull-ups, dips, all that sort of stuff. And I actually run to the park and then run back, and it's a really good workout, and it cost me $3.99, so love that. So the second one is housing. In terms of where I live, our apartment's probably worth around $1.1 million, and we actually get rent for about $600 at the moment. It was about $650, but we negotiated it down because we had some problem with the ceiling. And basically, to get that kind of rent for a property of this quality is ridiculous. For us, we also picked an area that we liked, but we had an area that we found that had apartment oversupply. So there is tons of apartments being built in this area, and it's in my opinion, it's a great area. But there are a lot of apartments, which means that if you do have an apartment, it's hard to charge rents, and the people that own this property are probably getting a terrible deal. If you're buying something that's not in short supply, what can you expect? So if you are looking for housing, I think that's one of the biggest things you can save money on. Try and find out how you can spend as little as possible on housing without living in the world's worst place. I definitely think it's a good idea to live below your means and try and live in the most humble place that you can accept, because it will make a massive difference, more so than some of the other areas that you would save money. In terms of food, I use a service called My Muscle Chef. They have really affordable, nice meals. It's super cheap. I think I pay something like $120 for 12 meals delivered. The food quality is surprisingly good. It's much better than other services. But the point I'd like to make is that these food delivery services are getting so competitive at the moment that the amount you spend for the quality of food that you get, if you pick the right service, is ridiculous. And just try the different services, you'll eventually find the best one. For me, the cost saving is excellent. Some people at this point would love to do, they buy groceries and they love cooking, whatever. For me, personally, I've found that one, I can't cook, but two, for me, if I can spend 2 minutes microwaving it and 5 minutes wolfing it down, within 7 minutes, the lunch transaction is all done. I'm in and out, it's all done, I can get back to it. In terms of the time savings as well, that is a big focus for me because I don't want to be spending any time doing stuff that is unnecessary as well. In terms of clothing, it's pretty basic for me. Maybe it's just a guy, but I wear $5 t-shirts and that sort of stuff. I wear t-shirts and shorts almost year round. So it's just an area that I never spend in, and I do like nice clothes and nice quality clothes. But at the same time, for me, the way I see it is I'm in build mode and I'm trying to build up and get that momentum. So for me, spending money on those sorts of things that don't make any money, even if they make you happy, they don't make you any money. It's just not something that I'm interested in doing. And for me, yeah, just generally, I'll avoid any kind of expensive stuff. I can save the flex for later. In terms of entertainment, I don't do, one of the flip sides of working a lot is that you don't really have much time for entertainment. And I've actually heard someone say entertainment is the opposite of success, because it's usually something just to keep you occupied. While you got to have fun and all that sort of stuff, for me personally, I'm quite sort of focused and set on what I'm doing at the moment. So I don't really want to be playing video games or going out and getting pissed at the pub. Not that we can anyway at the moment, but I'm trying to avoid those sorts of things, because while I still enjoy them, for me, I realized a little while ago that I get actually more happiness from going and getting closer to my goals. And I do love seeing my friends, but at the same time, I try to avoid any events with acquaintances and that sort of stuff, because it's just not a big priority for me. And I try to guard my time quite a bit. And simple things I do here is, instead of going out for drinks, I might meet them for coffee or breakfast. Instead of going out to, whether it's to a bar, I'd either have drinks with them at my place or their place and that sort of thing. So a few little, mini things like swapped out can save you a bit of money there. In terms of travel, a lot of the obvious stuff. So me and my wife will almost, often book a place instead of on the weekends or in peak periods. We'll book it midweek because, I run my own business, so I have that flexibility and she can just take some of the time off. And then we can book a place for, quite often it's a significant discount. With places like booking.com, there are stuff where you get discounts for loyalty. So I am a part of some of the loyalty programs, both with websites, booking websites, as well as the actual hotel chains themselves. Where it makes sense, I will leverage those programs, and basically what ends up happening is you end up dramatically reducing how much you end up spending for the holidays. So it's never really too heavy. Number 7, if you don't have kids, this will be very, very boring, but in terms of baby expenses, babies can be, they don't make much profit, if you're wondering. And my baby is still yet to be cash flow positive, but we are working on it. But basically, in terms of baby stuff, it's pretty straightforward. Going on Amazon, buying stuff in bulk is the way to go. You can make massive savings versus a lot of the supermarkets. And the same for any kind of like non-perishable stuff. Like if that's on discount at the supermarket, I usually just buy as much as I can fit in the trolley. And then that way, that kind of side of things never gets that expensive. And for anybody wondering, I actually found that babies were a lot less expensive than I was expecting. Obviously, there's some products that you have to buy when they're a newborn, but so far I've actually found it not too bad, especially if you're buying in bulk and you're getting those savings. The hit's not too bad. And number 8, in terms of the areas that I try and save money in, is when it comes to date nights. Obviously, every week I'll have a date night on a Tuesday night with my wife. And this can be something that can add up to a lot of money for some people, between some people that get Uber Eats and they get takeaway from nice restaurants and that sort of stuff. That can really, really add up, especially if it's like $100 here, $200 there, and it's happening week in, week out. That does actually add up to a significant amount of money. For me, what we do, we have our local places, but typically there's so many sites that have these these booking websites where you can get massive deals, and they have deal aggregators, and you can literally just rotate through all the deals week in, week out. So that place has got a deal this week, you can go there. That place has a deal, you can go there. And you just pick the ones with the highest reviews and the best deal, and then you pretty much just rotate through those week in, week out. So you're getting, $100, $150 worth of value for like half that price, or much, much less. So it's a way that you can keep the missus happy while also not having a blowout every week. But overall, when it comes to saving money, I really, really encourage people not to spend too much time on this, to be honest. A lot of people are so obsessed with budgets, and I've kind of sledged them a lot in previous videos. It is finite. There's only so much you can do. And once you've got that down to pretty watertight and you're kind of only spending on what you need to spend on, beyond that, you have to switch to offense. You can't just play on defense forever and expect to get rich unless you want to wait 40 years. While I've got that pretty dialed in, I'm spending most of my effort on making more money and growing my business and doing stuff like this and trying to build other income streams. I'd really, really encourage it, like once you do look at all the areas of your life and try and tighten up those expenses, almost like tick it off, then move on to increasing your income. Because if you can make a few extra grand per month, that would cover all your normal expenses with ease. So for a lot of people, spending more time, making more money is where you should be focusing all your effort. So that's all for this week. I hope you've enjoyed the video. As always, if you liked the video, please give it a like. If you thought it was shit, please give it a dislike. And other than that, I'll see you on the next video. Cheers.